So I didn't think I'll be making this video, but here we are. So in my last video, I talked about my Canadian experience, how I came to Canada, and I got a lot of questions after that video about how to actually apply for your study permit. So I'm going to show you how to apply for your study permit. It's so easy and straightforward. So enough talking, let's see how you can apply for your Canadian study permit online. So to apply for your study permit, just go on Google and then type in IRCC login. Just hit enter, and then the next thing you're going to do is to click on sign into your IRCC secure account. If you do not have an account already, I would say go ahead and register for an account. So I'll proceed by clicking GCK username and password. My username and password is already filled in, so I proceed to sign in. Click continue. So this code is a one-time passcode. You retrieve this passcode either from your email or however you set it up, and then paste it inside of this place provided here, and then proceed. So I got my one-time passcode. Click continue. The next thing you do is to click continue again, accept the terms and conditions, and then there will be security questions that you'll be asked to create. In this case, I already put in my security questions and I know what the answer to it is, so I'll just proceed to type in the answer. To start your study permit application, you scroll all the way down and look for this portion that says start an application, and then click apply to come to Canada. Ignore this part if you don't have any personal reference school to begin the application, so just ignore that part. Scroll all the way down and then click on visitor's visa, study and or work permit. Proceed to click on that. Then proceed to provide answers to these questions that are being asked. So the first question we have here is, what would you like to do in Canada? I'd like to study. How long are you planning to stay? I'm planning to stay temporarily more than 6 months. And select the code that matches your passport. In this case, it's going to be Ghana. So I will look for Ghana. What is your current country or territory of residence? I would use Ghana in this case. Do you have a family member who is a Canadian citizen or a permanent resident and is 18 years older? In my case, I would say yes. What is your date of birth? And then proceed to put in your date of birth. I'll just select any date here. Are you a lawful permanent resident of the United States with a valid US citizenship and immigration service UCI number? I would say no in my case. I'll click next on that. Have you been accepted to a designated learning institution? For this, I'm going to answer yes. If you're not sure about whether to put yes or no, there's always the question mark sign here which can tell you more about it. You must have been accepted by a Canadian school, college, university, or other educational institution to be eligible to study in Canada. So if you don't have an admission, then you have no business applying for a study permit here. So in this case, I'll just say yes, and I'll proceed to the next. What is your marital status? Single? Never married? What if you're married as well, you can proceed to say yes, you're married, or whatever your situation or your status is. What is your province or territory of destination? In this case, that's going to be Nova Scotia for me, because that's where I'm going to go to school. And I click next. Are you currently or will you be living in Canada with your parent or legal guardian? I would say no to that. I'll click next. So based on the answers I gave, I do qualify to apply for a student study permit. So I'll proceed to click continue. I'll be asked more questions which I'll provide answers to. Do you have a valid work permit or study permit? Need a visa to return to Canada? I would say no to this because I don't have a valid work permit. I'm now applying for a study permit to come into Canada for the first time for school. I'll click next. The next question is, are you an exchange student? In my case, no. Is work an essential component of your studies? Mostly it would be no, but in my case, I'm going to an institution or my admission letter states that work is essential for my completion of the course. So that means I'll be doing some co-op and internship as well. So I'll go ahead and click yes to that. The reason why they want to know this is so that they know that they have to provide you with a work permit that would allow you to do your co-op or your internship. But if work is not an essential part of your studies, then I would say you click no to this one. But in my case, I'll choose yes. Are you a spouse, common law partner, or child of certain skilled worker? In my case, it's no. A participant in Canadian aid program for developing countries, it's also no for me, and I'll click next. Next question is, are you accompanying a family member? In my case, no. I'll click next. Have you ever committed, been arrested for, been charged with, or convicted of any criminal offense in any country? No. I'll click next. Have you had a medical exam performed by an IRCC panel within the last 12 months? It's going to be no for me, and I'll click next. Have you visited or lived in any one of the designated countries for 6 consecutive months in the last year? It's going to be no for me. In your case, if it's yes, just proceed to say yes, but mostly no. I'll click next. Do you want to submit an application for a family member? No. Are you giving someone access to your application? No, I'm not giving anybody access because I can clearly do it myself. So I'll click next. Then in the past 10 years, have you given fingerprint and photo/biometrics for an application to come to Canada? In my case, I'll say yes. But if this is your first time applying to come to Canada, most likely it's going to be no for you. There are fees associated with this application. Will you be paying your fees, or are you fee exempt? I'm not fee exempt, so I will be paying my application fees. I'll click next. Are you able to make a digital copy of your documents with a scanner or camera? I'd say yes to that, and I'll click next. Will you be paying your application fees online? I'll say yes, and I'll click next. So these are my answers I provided. I'll just review them and make sure everything is okay, and then I'll proceed to click continue. So submitting your application. Step 1, use your account, which I already did. Save your application. My application has already been saved. I know you have 60 days to submit your online application. This means that you have about 2 months to gather all your documents and upload them online, and then pay for the fee. In fact, basically submitting your application before the 60 days are up. And then step 3 is where you upload your documents. Step 4 is where you pay the fees. So I'll click continue, and then we'll see the documents that it will be required for me to submit, or we'll see the document that will be required. So first we have the application forms itself, which is the IMM 1294, application for study permits made outside of Canada. And then we have the evidence of work requirement study, or evidence of work requirement in study, which my school has already provided me with that information, so I would upload it here. Your acceptance letter, which is also from the school, your passport, which will be your biodata page of your passport, and then proof of means of financial support, your digital photo, and then your family information. These other applications are optional. So once you're able to provide all these documents before the 60 days, you realize that you would have another button appear down here that says that proceed to pay your fees. So in this case, if I had all my documents, now I can upload all of them, and then I'll proceed to pay the $150 for my study permit. So what happens when you submit your application? So if you do submit your application and you do not have your biometrics, a correspondence letter will be sent to you for you to go do your biometrics. In my case, I'm not supposed to do biometrics, so the additional fee, or the fee for the biometrics, is not showing over there, but I think it's about, I'm not sure how much it is, $85 or so. Canadian dollars. And yeah, that's all about it. And that's how you apply for your study permit online. Really, it's not so difficult. And yeah. So if you have any questions or any comments, just leave them down in the comment section below. It's been a long video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Hopefully it's not about immigration stuff anymore. It would be more of like, you know, camera stuff. So thanks for watching. Bye.